Okay, we have our Back to the Future DeLorean issue 17. Fitting the sump pan. Sump pan fitting on here. And then we flip it over and we've got some FP. There we go. Sump pan, nice solid attached. Transmission case. So this is from before. This piece here, and we've got 2 screws there. These are DP, which I think are DM. These are kind of differently labeled. AP, JM. Okay, yeah, so those are DM. I think they have relabeled their screws over time. A bit confusing. Try a slightly bigger screwdriver on these. No, too big. Try a slightly bigger screwdriver. You really do have to find the right screwdriver for these. That is just the snug fit into that head. If it's too small, it will try to strip it out on you. Nice snug fit there. Okay, and then we have this large wide piece. The moldings are showing in this direction. I'm going in there like this. The molding's out there like that. It kind of keys in. And then we have 1, 2, 3 screws. Those are DM screws. Nice snug fit there, no wiggle. On to the next step. We have this piece, and it just press fits this other piece in here. I guess that's supposed to be like the starter motor. We come around this way, and it wants to sit in here with the screw and the little button right there keying in. And there we'll use a AP screw. Some of this stuff is pretty delicate, but has good detail. Okay, and this part, which we started with, will go right there, and we will attach that with 2 JM screws. So if you look, I don't know if you can see that, you can see the screwdriver will wiggle slightly in there, but this screwdriver will not wiggle. So therefore it's the right choice. Be a little hard to. The problem is, it's, as you can see, it's trying to come in at an angle. This seems like it will work okay. So sometimes you have to get it started with one, and you can finish and truly tighten with the other. This should come flat eventually with these getting tight. There you can see a tiny bit of wiggle, so we need to get them slightly tighter. Too much wiggle on that one. Okay, so I've got a screwdriver here that will be able to line up straight with those screws. We'll be able to snug those down really nicely without trying to approach them at an angle. some of these really could be hex hardware. It's weird because it does seem to be at an angle. I want it to line up flat, but I think it just kind of does line up at an angle. So we'll see. And that is the end for issue 17. Okay, we have issue 18 of the Back to the Future DeLorean. Okay, we have this, and we're apparently fixing the fuel filter, which is black. Putting it right there. And we're using a AP screw. Pretty snug. This is oil filter, which is this gold color piece. Goes right next to it there. And another AP screw. Oil filter and fuel filter, oil filter. Ah, yes, okay. So, should be this one, and it should fix right there with AP screws. Manifold there, and it's got a little flat edge there, so we know that's the right one. Set that aside, and I think we have the opposite side with the opposite manifold fitting like that. AP screws. If it gets a little snug, you can kind of work the screw forward and backward, and it will help to thread into that plastic. That I've discovered. There's some of these plastic holes and painted parts are a little too, the holes are a little too small. So it is good to screw them in and then back the screw out a little bit. Screw them in, back the screw out. In order to prevent stripping out the screw. Okay, I've got both of those. This is the piece with the fuel filter, oil filter, and we're putting it here. That makes the manifold head toward the larger part of this assembly. Now this is interesting, it's not wanting to line up, so I do believe we have to get this one to be a little bit more lean back. To be a little flatter. So it'll line up better. Oh, and it does have a pin index here, you can see. It should pin index into there. So be careful of that. And then we're putting DM screws. As you tighten this, make sure that you've indexed that in there. Some of these are hard because they are, I want them to be magnetic on the screwdriver. But they're not. Very nice detail. These are all metal painted parts. And I'm putting the opposite side. So again, same thing, it keys in here. Line up with those holes. DM screws. One more DM screw to seal the deal. And the engine back. This will go here. And 2 screws holding that in. Those are DM screws. I have to start that upside down. Get the other one started before I snug them both. These you have to maybe balance the screw on your screwdriver. Use gravity. And so once it's in, then You can flip it around in whichever way you would like to work on it. Ratcheting screwdriver helps quite a bit. These are from Wera, so I'm pretty happy with those. And there you go, there's the back plate. And that is about it for issue 18. Okay, and we have DeLorean number 19. Parts of the engine. Okay. Water hoses with AP screw. Goes there. And then we will catch that with some AP screws. And now the manifold, which goes in to this hole, lines up with that hole, goes into that hole, and then it lines up these holes here. And we have 3 AM screws. There it is. Nice. And now with another AM screw, we are attaching this here. There we go. And then this flexible pipe, or tube, it is actually a tube, goes on to the upper part of that. And that's it for issue 19. And now number 20. More engine stuff. Okay, we're going to do an intake manifold. So we're taking these pieces and we're going to start putting these across. They seem symmetric. And these are AP screws. AP screws into the big curve. Okay, there's one. Pretty snug. Holds their position. We'll line them up in just a minute. Just getting these lined up for the second side. That would be like this. Three more AP screws. There we go. It's getting there. One more. All the way snug. There you go. Nice little assembly. Okay, now 2 AP screws to put. You can see this piece has the little bulge, so I'm going to use that. Have that little bulge there. So we're going to put like that. And AP screws there. So far so good. Another screw. And this one has a bulge on it. That bulge is inside. So that bulge goes there. And I think if we do it the opposite way, yeah, it doesn't really line up. And there are some little notches here that make it not want to line up. So it's pretty easy to keep it straight, but that bulge is on the inside this time. AP screws. Okay, now we add this into here. Let's see, I think it's this way. Lost my little tube. I'll put that on later. Okay, so we have the little bits there, those little screws there. And that middle screw is on this side. I think I've got that lined up correctly. I think this would be very easy to flip accidentally backwards, but that should be it. 6 AP screws. Very nice, detailed piece here. And that is it for issue 20.